Now I have a lot of habits and routines and they're not all good ones, but I started a few this year that have had a huge positive impact on my life. So I wanted to share them in case you are kind of stuck for ideas, you're looking for some inspiration to take you into the new year. These are the things that I'm going to be sticking to next year. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life. And these are in no particular order, though probably the last one is the most important, but I want to start with the one that I'm actually most proud of. This is actually a tip that I did share throughout the year, and for those of you who tried it, you messaged me and said yes, it revolutionized things for you, completely changed the game. And it's something that I had tried to do in the past but never quite stuck to. So this year I was committed, and I am proud to say that I saw it through and the results, amazing. That is completing a laundry load from start to finish. So washing, drying and putting away the clothes before I put on another wash load. So previous me, okay, me of years past would put on a wash load, would then, while those clothes were drying, put on a second load thinking, yes, I'll get 2 loads of laundry done. And what would end up happening? 2 loads of laundry would sit there because then I would be faced with a giant mountain of clothes to fold and put away, and I didn't want to do that. So they started to pile up. Me of this year though, wise woman that I now am, I stuck to it. I do 1 load of laundry a week. That's it. My husband washes the bedclothes. I do the towels and the clothes all in one go. We have a giant washing machine, everything here in the US, giant. Anyway, I can fit pretty much everything into that. There will be some left over, but I get 1 wash load done. I dry them. I set a timer on my phone. That's also like really important so that the stuff doesn't then sit in the washing machine while I go off and get distracted with something else and completely forget until I come back and they're smelly. No. Put them in the washing machine, set a timer, come back, put them in the dryer, set a timer, come back, fold, put away while I'm watching something. It is a game changer. If you've never done it, this is something that you could start in the new year. Commit to doing 1 load of laundry, start to finish, and see if it does not change the game for you. Honestly, probably my crowning achievement of this year in terms of home stuff. Next habit impacted not just my home, but also my business, and that is to hire help. As a perfectionist, I think nobody can do a job as well as I can. And I put this off for so long because I just thought, why would I get someone else to half-ass a job that I can just do better myself? But I was wrong, okay? I hold my hands up. I was wrong. In my home life this year, I hired cleaners, and oh, my home spot, you should see my sink. After they clean, like when they leave, I just go and stare at my sink for a few seconds. It's just a miracle. But yes, I could clean my home to the same level that they do it, but they're quicker. It saves me from doing it. And I often find that when I clean things, I get very resentful of my family. I feel like I'm picking up after them. I feel like I'm doing the bulk of the work, and it just tends to spiral. And that's what I realized at the beginning of this year. Even though I like the feeling of having a clean house and I don't necessarily mind cleaning it all that much, it was leading to those negative feelings, and then I didn't want anybody to like touch anything after I had cleaned. Realizing that it was leading to all of these negative feelings and leading to kind of tension in my home, I realized that by hiring someone, I could actually not just like keep my home clean, particularly since we got a puppy, because wow, they're messy, but also because it was going to just make my relationships with my family better. It was going to ease a lot of tension that I felt there, which was completely ridiculous, but at the same time, it was a thing. In terms of my business then, I worked with a lot of people this year, and my business is one of those areas where I recognize, not happy about it, but I recognize that I'm just not good at a lot of things, particularly design related things. So this year I worked with a brand and web designer, so the website was completely redesigned. I worked with a copywriter, so she helped me with some of the like sales pages and stuff and copy for like promotions and things like that. I worked with, and I'm still working with, a graphic designer. She designed the planner, the My Life Story digital planner. Like, oh, one of the best things I've ever done. Really love it. And she's going to continue working with me on new planners and digital stickers and stuff, so I'm very excited for that. I am also currently working with a social media manager who is really just taking some of the pressure off me, because she is coming up with some of the ideas and she's going back over my videos and taking out, you know, the quotes and the tips and stuff like that, and giving me additional ideas for content and fun things that I could do. I really think this is going to like step up my business. Now listen, I know that not everyone is in a position to get help, but it doesn't always have to be in a paid situation. So maybe you could just barter with somebody, you could swap services, you could, you know, agree to take your neighbor's kids to school one week if they will take your kid to school the following week. You could exchange services. Maybe you know somebody who is good at, I don't know, cooking or something, and they cook some meals for you, and you are good at cleaning or crafting or something, and you agree to take on a project for them. There are so many different ways that you can hire or just get help. Sometimes all you have to do is just ask somebody if they can help you out, either on an ongoing basis or just as a once-off. I do want to say as a quick note in here, because I think it's important to recognize that not all of these were New Year's resolutions. Some of these I just kind of picked up as the year went on, and I know that kind of temptation at the beginning of the year to feel like you need to be starting all of the things. You really don't need to do that. Like I said, most of these were just picked up throughout the year, some of them kind of unintentionally. I think there are only one or two things on this list that were actual New Year's resolutions of mine. The first being the laundry and the second being hiring someone. There may be one or two more down the line, but the vast majority were just kind of picked up as the year went on, things that I decided to start doing or realized that I had already started doing and I was going to continue them. The unintentional one, the one that I kind of didn't consciously initially decide to do, but then decided to continue, was walking more. And that was because we got a puppy last Christmas, and just like I was taking her for walks. When August rolled around, if you've been around here for a while, you will know that every August I do a 1 month challenge where I just challenge myself to do something. And I was focused on health for this particular August, and one of the things that I wanted to do was get my 10,000 steps at least 3 days a week and at least 5,000 steps the other days of the week. And kind of what prompted that was I realized that I was walking a little bit more, and I wanted to put a little bit more intention into it and a little bit more of conscious thought and effort. These next two are similar, so I'm going to lump them together. And actually, yes, the first one is something that I had intentionally decided to do at the beginning of the year. It was a resolution of mine, and that is to basically cut out takeaway food. So ordering stuff for dinner. I didn't order anything at all for I think the first 3 months of the year. Previously, we weren't big on ordering food, but we probably did it maybe once a week, not quite once a week, but a few times a month. Whereas this year I really wanted to cut that out. If you've been following my journey, you'll know that I've had a lot of health issues over the past few years, and this year I really wanted to focus on my health and improving my diet. So I decided cutting out takeaway food, fast food. Not that I ate a huge amount before, like I said, but that was going to be a big thing for me. Now, yes, I did order some takeaway food as the year went on, but like I said, I think the first time was in April. I can probably count on maybe not quite one hand, but definitely two hands, the amount of takeaway food in terms of dinners that I've had this year. That leads into the second thing then, which was focusing more on home cooked meals. Now, I don't like to cook. I generally do not enjoy it. So I found that I was focusing on kind of stuff that I could just reheat in the microwave, you know, like processed stuff. So in May of this year, I decided to try out one of these meal delivery services, fresh ingredients, home cooked, very specific instructions, very easy to follow. Everything arrives already kind of pre-measured out for you, so you don't have to spend ages like trying to get the right amount of stuff and finding all of the ingredients at the store. All of that jazz, all taken care of for me. It's been teaching me how to cook. It's been ensuring that I am getting home cooked meals, saving me a lot of time and energy wondering what's for dinner, you know, that eternal question. As soon as you move out of home, that just takes over your life. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? And then when you start a family and then everyone else is asking you, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? It's the worst. So yes, cutting out takeaway foods and incorporating a lot more home cooked stuff into my life has had an impact, not just on my health, but on my overall kind of sanity day to day. Another thing that I started doing in May, or committed to doing, was creating my environment. What I mean by that is consciously, intentionally choosing how I wanted my home to look and then putting work and effort and energy into making it look that way. So I have been decluttering, as you know, for many years now and kind of streamlining my home. But every time I move into a new house, I kind of stick with what the previous owners have done in terms of like paint and fixtures and fittings and stuff, because none of the places ever really feel like my forever home. Like, I know this is not our forever home. And so I'm constantly kind of battling with myself between wanting to change things up, not being 100% happy with the way things are, but on the flip side, not wanting to put a huge amount of work into something that I'm eventually going to be walking away from. But this year I decided, nah, I don't know how long I'll be living in this home. I've already lived here for 3 years. I could be here for another 3, 10, I don't know. So I decided that I was just going to cut the nonsense and I was actually going to put my own stamp on it. So this year, you may notice if you've been around here for a while, I completely redecorated my office. I took it from like dull and drab, what I thought was dull and drab, to bright and colorful, and it's definitely not going to be to everyone's taste, but I love it and I'm really glad that I did it. It finally feels like the space is my own and that I'm not just kind of like a tenant almost, that I'm just keeping this house until the next buyer will come along and take it off my hands. So if you have a space in your home and you have a kind of a vision for how you would like it to be, then go ahead and start creating that vision. Don't keep it in your head, push it out into reality. Another thing I decided to do around my birthday, again showing you that not everything has to be done in January, and also that my birthday this year was like a big, oh no, I'm getting old moment for me, things need to change. But that was to start dressing a little better. Not every day, like I still wear jeans and a jumper, but making a bit more of an effort to dress up. Now, I am 100% not a like hair and nails and makeup sort of person, but I am a clothes person and I do like to dress a certain way and I like to have fun with the way that I dress and I like it to kind of reflect my personality. So I really made a conscious effort this year, like I said, when I turned 37, but to just kind of wear more of the fancier clothes, to not always kind of dress down, but sometimes to walk outside the front door in a dress, in a jumpsuit, in something that is kind of more for special occasions or something like that. I mean, I wasn't walking down the street in a ball gown or anything, but just making more of an effort to wear the things that I would generally save for, you know, maybe a dinner with my husband or going to an event or something like that. I'm not doing it for anyone else. Like, I wear this stuff just around the house for me, but I feel better when the clothes that I'm wearing reflect my personality. Another thing I did as part of my 1 month challenge was to start wearing sunscreen. I'm normally terrible at this, and I will say that it's probably not like a completely ingrained habit yet, because I spend a lot of my time indoors. You know, I work from home. I don't have many reasons to step outside the front door, or if I do, it's generally for a short amount of time. You know, maybe taking the dog for a walk, walking my daughter to the bus stop, just going out to the mailbox, kind of short moments like that, or I'll go to the store, so I'll be driving and then just hopping out of the car for all of like 10 seconds. So I wouldn't say that it's fully ingrained in me yet, but it's something I started doing this year and something that I definitely want to continue. Again, it kind of ties into the whole like overarching theme of health, improving my health this year. Sunscreen is one of those kind of simple, easy, quick things that I can do to hopefully improve my health or take care of myself and my body. Listen, at 37, it's probably too late for me. Probably that ship has sailed, but I think better late than never. I certainly don't think it's going to do me any harm, and if it has any benefit at all, it's worth it. And then probably the most important of all, which was being proactive about my health. I found in previous years, so like I mentioned, I've had multiple health issues over the past few years, and I have seen numerous doctors. I've had numerous scans and tests and blood draws and surgeries and procedures and all sorts of things, and nobody has gotten to the root cause of all of these issues. And it's very frustrating for me, but I found in previous years I was much more likely to kind of just take a doctor's word for it. You know, a doctor would say something and I would say, well, okay, you're the medical professional here. I will kind of bow to your knowledge and experience. Whereas this year, not in a like rude or anything sort of way, but I just was much more proactive. I chased things up. You know, if I got test results and the doctor said, you know, these are abnormal, we'll just monitor you, you know, come back in 6-12 months and we'll redo this test and see where you are. And years ago I would have said, yeah, okay. Whereas this year I was like, no, I'm not willing to wait that long. I want to get to the root of this now. So, you know, what else can we do? What other tests can I take? What other procedures can be done? What other scans could be performed? No, it's not okay for me to just, you know, slap this band-aid on. It's not okay to just like come back in 6 months and we'll see how things go. I want this solved now. So far, nothing has really come to light, but I know that with each procedure, with each test, with each scan, with each surgery, I'm getting closer and closer. Certainly much closer than if I had just sat back and said, yeah, I'll see you in 6 months for more tests. If you have a habit that you would like to take up this year or continue doing, a habit that you would like to start and or stick to, then I want you to check out this video because it's all about how to stick to your habits, how to make sure that you follow through on them. Starting things is all well and good, you know, you're full of enthusiasm in the moment when you first begin, but that can wane over time. So these are all of the strategies that you need to keep you going. Go check that out, and until next time, go raibh míle maith agam. Agus feici mé sibh go luath. Slán!